Hey, I'm going to be talking about how do you keep yourself powered up while you're traveling overseas without any worries, and some travel tips on staying connected. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Garnie. How you guys doing today? Hopefully all is well. So today's tech day is going to be around how do I keep myself powered up? Because, we got cameras, we got iPads, computers, devices that are out there. But the biggest challenge, since it's been a long time since I did international travel, the biggest concern for me was, am I going to burn out my gear? Am I going to burn out my chargers? Am I going to burn out my laptop? Am I going to burn out my camera batteries because I have incorrect or improper devices for the different voltages and the different standards that are out there, much less the different types of funky plugs that are out there. So, you know what? I'm going to try to boil this down and make it really simple because when I did my research, there was 1,001 different things. So this is going to focus just on the travels that I did with South Africa, London, and France, and even Mexico. So let me share some of that with you, and also staying connected. Oh, that was a big thing for us when we were in Paris, is staying connected. So I'll throw out a travel tip for that at the end, so stick around for that. So first and foremost, when we go out, when we travel, the biggest thing is that we in the United States are 110 volt, and we usually have some standard plugs that we plug into, for our iPhones, my Android phones, laptops, and cameras, and things like that. Well, when you go overseas, they have different voltages and they have different amperages, and you don't know which is which, and different locations have different plugs, and so it gets a little confusing. So what I did, I actually bought a product that I wanted to share with you. Is called BESTEK. It's actually an inverter. Yeah, BESTEK inverter. I got this on Amazon, and I'll put the link of that down below. But it's really simple. As you notice on top here, it has 3 plugs. Yeah, and you notice the spacing in between the plugs, which is really cool because you could actually take your large charging devices, like for phones and things like that, and place on here and not have to worry about bumping into each other or losing space. Also, the benefit of this is that if you notice here on the side, let me see if I can get this thing zoomed in here for you. There it is. You see you got 1 amp and 2.1 amp chargers for USBs on the side. And here's the power switch for it. So basically, this is the design of it, and this is where you have plug it in for power. So this actually regulates the power that would be distributed out these American plug sets. So your devices stay at 110 volt. So you're not worried about burning out your devices that you're plugging in. So what I like about this the most is that I can take the stuff I have at home, plug it in here, and not have to worry about calculating and worrying about burnouts. Even though most devices today, the chargers, they can handle the standard 110 volts all the way up to 240 volts. Not to get you too technical about it, most of them do, but sometimes you just don't know. So just to play it safe, that's why I bought this inverter, to make sure that, the steps down inverter, to make sure that I am not overpowering my chargers or my devices. And the neat thing is, I don't have to carry any extra chargers for some USB devices that I have, which is pretty nice. Now, I will say this BESTEK is, since you saw the switch on the side, it has a little fan in it. So it has a hum to it. Now, it's not a very large fan. It's just enough to where when you turn it on for the very first time in a quiet hotel room, you will hear it. But if you're like me, I like white noise. And it wasn't loud enough, but it was just enough that where I could hear it was still around, and it was enough white noise to cancel out the quietness in the room. So I like this. I really did. It comes with a 5-foot cord power up. So it plugs right in here, and you have 5 feet of cord to plug into your device. Now this is a Euro, you plug into the EU plugs, and basically it's just 2 rounded spikes that plug into, for France. And while we were in Paris, I had no problems. Plug this thing into the wall, and boom, I was ready to rock and roll. Now, it does come with some additional accessories. For example, if you needed to use for some Asian countries and Australia, there's an adapter for it. Basically, let's see if that actually focuses in. You see how the prongs there, it looks almost like a US-based but they're actually angled. You notice that? You see that? It looks like a 45-degree angle to each other. So you can take your French plug-in, or EU, European Union plug, and plug that in. Plug that into an Australian plug if you need to. What if you're actually in the UK? I'm glad you brought that up because we actually use this. The UK has a very unique plug. You see that there? Let's get that focus there. There you go. It has two horizontal prongs at the top, and down at the bottom has a vertical ground. Well, the neat thing is on the back side, as you see, it can take almost anything. This just actually passes through electricity. So I just take this EU plug and plug it in, and there was my UK connection. It was great. I loved it. I mean, with this BESTEK technology, I was able to plug in to South Africa without a worry. I was able to plug into UK without a worry, and plug into Paris without a worry. And I just, basically had my USB cables and my chargers that I needed that I plugged into a regular 110 slot like in the United States. So kept it quick, kept it simple. It fits well in the suitcase, not a lot of room. And even though it does have a fan and it makes a little noise, it was enough white noise for me to keep the room, keep it from just being deathly quiet in a hotel, which was pretty nice. Another thing that I found, and some of you guys saw this a long time ago, there are some universal travel adapters that are out there. This one is a LURICO all-in-one travel adapter. And what it does, it accepts, and if I can just bring this up here for you, this is the face plug where you can actually plug in UK, you can plug in Australian, an American, or US based, or other plugs in here. The other one does not take is the Type M, which is the South African plug. But about 90% of the world is covered with this. So you can actually plug in your devices here. And if you notice, it said surge protector on it, which was pretty nice. That's what I was looking for. Not just a pass through of power. I needed something that would make sure that if there was a spike, that something will keep from burning up my other devices. That's what I liked about this. This also had a USB slots on the side. Now they're only 1 amp. 1 amp. But still, if you're just looking to maintain a charge on a large phone or an iPad or things like that, it will maintain a charge. So that was pretty cool. Now, how do you plug it in? Well, let me show you this right here. There's a little green slot here. And if I pull this, there you go. See the plugs pop out? It's now in an American configuration where he has a standard. Well, let me focus that in for you. It has an American configuration, but you can actually turn these manually like that to make it work with the Australian plugs that are down there, which is pretty nice. And if you depress these and pull the green pin back, it locks it in. It also has the European plug right there. You see that? It just lifts right up. There it is. It's just like the French plug that I had on the BESTEK. So I can plug this into a French wall. And this is great, guys, because it's not just the Australian, the EU, but if I flip this over and flip this key and turn this down, here you go. Here's the UK plug. Notice that? Here's the plastic for the ground. It's not used here, but here's your two terminals for the UK side. So I can use this one little device to connect to one plug in an airport, a train station, or wherever else if I want to do a quick charge. I can actually throw my device on here for USB for small devices, or I can actually take my regular charger, plug in here, plug this into, let's say, when we were on the channel, I was able to use the European plug on the channel to plug into I was sitting in a seat that actually had a EU plug. I plugged that in, was able to plug my phone adapter here and charge my phone. It was good to go. That, guys, this is kind of neat. Now, there's only one drawback to this LURICO. I will tell you the UK setting on this, it's loose. Now, when it's not loose here, it's just not quite exactly fitting to the UK plug, so it slips out easily. I mean, there's just not enough friction to hold this in. So if it's against the wall and there's a lot of weight on this, it will pop right out of the socket. So what I actually had to do was plug this in and actually had to put a shoe under this to keep it from falling out. Yeah, kind of weird, but that was the only disadvantage of this LURICO. So I would not recommend this for the UK theater if you go there all the time. But hey, in Paris it worked great, and on the channel worked great, and I highly recommend that for anyone who goes. I haven't gone to Australia yet, so hey mates, I haven't tried that out yet. I want to go to Australia just to try that out. I'm half serious about that. So anyway, guys, those are, for me, those two devices, this BESTEK and this LURICO devices, kept me from worrying about, am I worried about overcharging my devices, burnouts, or anything else like that. Hey guys, these things kept me going. I didn't have to worry about it. I just set it up, plug it away, and I went along my way. So let me talk about one other thing, and I promised you about how do you stay connected. When we were in France, there was this company called Travel Wi-Fi. Yes, travel-wifi.com. And I'll put the link in below. But what was really neat is that we were able to stay connected while we were out there. Yeah, with data. So they gave us 4G connection on a little MiFi device. And should be a picture here for that. A little MiFi device. And basically I charged it up every night. And I kept it running. I get 3 gigs of data a day. Now, you can plug up to 10 devices to it, which is really neat. So I could plug my iPad to it, my Wi-Fi, my wife's iPad to it, our phones to it if I wanted to. And basically, all around the city, the proper city of Paris, we were connected. So that way, I always had my GPS. We could play Pokemon. Yeah, that sounds kind of strange, but yeah, we could play Pokemon. And in fact, when I wanted to use Yelp to find a restaurant or use Google Maps to find a place, I didn't have to be offline. I was actually connected. Now, for 5 days we were out there, it was only 45 euros. I thought that was a steal, guys. Come on, think about it. For less than $10 a day, I was connected. And I didn't have to rush to a Starbucks or rush to a Pret a Manger or a McDonald's or something like that to get connected. I was connected all the time wherever I was, and that was just a sense of freedom. So I didn't have to actually buy a single SIM card for my wife's phone or a SIM card for my phone. Yeah, you can get them cheap, but I wanted to make sure we had connectivity for all our devices while we're out there. Yes, our hotel had Wi-Fi, and it was good Wi-Fi, but that was back at the hotel. But what about being out in the streets where we're tourists? We're riding around the tour bus and everything. That's why we got this travel Wi-Fi. So, guys, I highly recommend. They got plans for UK or for all of Europe, UK and France. And the French one I thought was great because for 5 days for 45 euros, done. In fact, the neat thing about travel Wi-Fi, they made it so easy. That was the best part about it. They made it so easy. I told them what day I was landed and which hotel I was going to be at. And guess what? When I got to the hotel, there was a package for me, and it was from Travel Wi-Fi. And all I had to do is turn the baby on, make sure it's charged, and bingo, I was running. And that little MiFi device lasted all day long. I didn't have to worry about carrying extra batteries for it. It actually, you just turned it on in the morning. When we came back late at night, it was still maybe at 50%. Even though Gene and I will be using it for Pokemon and internet research and Google Maps and all that good stuff, it was great. So guys, I highly recommend that company, Travel Wi-Fi, travel-wifi.com. Link in the description, so I highly recommend it. So guys, that's it. I didn't want to belabor too much on it, but for me, it was perfect. These things, from the BESTEK to the LURICO to the Travel Wi-Fi, made us stay connected while we're at least in Paris, got us powered up in Johannesburg and powered up at UK and Paris. So anyway, if you like what you see, guys, hit that like button. And if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Come on, I'm always looking for new friends to join me on this journey. So hit that subscribe button and join us for the ride. And until then, guys, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.